Welcome to the Ska History Hour with your hosts, Jose Rojas
Hello.
and myself, Daryl Rubio, wherein the purpose of this channel is to spread awareness of ska music and its subgenres to the world. Our guests today are members of Sonic Boom 6 from Manchester, England.
Yay.
Also, the home of my favorite band, The Smiths.
Hey, yes, yes, lad. Love it. Love
So
it.
we appreciate the time that you're taking to speak with us to share your stories and your music with the ska community.
Yeah,
Can
you
you tell
started
us?
off well. You started off well. I seen Johnny Marr last week at a festival and he played a load of Smiths tunes because Morrissey's got a bit, it's kind of gone off the reservation a bit, and it's yeah.
He lives here. He
I
lives here in
know,
LA with us.
yeah, but he's still full of it about British politics.
Yeah, he
You know what I
is.
mean? He's like going on about Sadiq Khan. Anyway, Johnny Marr was awesome. Honestly, it was so
Oh
good.
yeah.
Later, you'd have loved it. He
Oh, I've
played,
always wanted to see him,
oh,
but
so good.
I
He
have more of
played
a
There Is a Light That
affinity.
Never Goes Out, all of it. Yeah.
I think you do you play guitar also?
Me, yeah, not very well.
Not
Like
very well.
in the studio, I play the bass and I'll write a lot of it, but live, it used to be that I could kind of rap and do it, but it's just because me and Laila do the thing now. So I just play rhythm guitar really. Bits. I'm not very. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah. Well, I
I'm
thought you
passable.
you had more of an affinity towards the guitarist Johnny Marr than the lyricist, Morrissey. So
Well, I
everyone's got
don't
their
know.
sides.
I don't know what happened to Morrissey. I don't know what. I mean, I
I'm
suppose he
Team
was all.
Morrissey.
I suppose he was always
Morrissey, I
curmudgeonly.
like to I like to describe Morrissey as my blind spot.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't. I
Yeah.
know I shouldn't.
So how would
Like
you describe?
because yeah,
How would
there's
you describe
if
Motley
it was
Crue
other
then?
people, if it was other people, if it wasn't, yeah, I'm as a human, I'm conflicted. I'm a hypocrite, and yeah, I'm all sorts of things. But for me, there's something just Morrissey is just everything. I know he
I
shouldn't be.
Everything
I mean,
and nothing.
and
I still
I'm Pakistani, so like he said some problematic things. But Morrissey for me, it's a trauma response, but it's work in progress.
Oh, got it. Okay. We'll stray away from any other early 80s Manchester band. Uh, now, can you please each tell us uh, your name, your role in the band, and a little bit about yourselves personally, please?
I'm Barney. I play the bass in the studio, the rhythm guitar in on the live setting. I do a bits and bobs of vocals, and about myself, I love coffee and horror films, um, and work for a living, and that's it. That's me. Go on, Layla.
I sing in Sonic Boom 6. And oh, about me. Well, similar to Barney, I love horror films. I, coffee I can take or leave.
I think your mic has to go up.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
that's better. That's
is that
better.
better?
Oh, much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's because it was charging. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for that. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Did you hear my the description about myself?
Let's start over if you can, please.
Okay, let's do that again. Me.
Yes.
And scene.
I'm Layla. I sing in Sonic Boom 6, and very similar to Barney, I love horror films. And I'm going to substitute the coffee for curry.
Oh, Curry. Okay.
I love curry.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Now, where does the name come from? The Sonic Boom 6. It reminds me of Street Fighter Guile. Sonic Boom. And there's
Yeah.
also a video game, Sonic Boom, right?
Yeah. No, that's it. That's
Oh,
it.
it is a Sonic Boom
You're right.
Guile?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I used to play before I discovered the the joys of drugs, alcohols, and the warm touch of the females. You won't
Yeah.
believe it, but I was a bit of a video game nerd. And I was for 2 years. Street Fighter 2 was live, and then you had Street Fighter, the new challengers,
Mhm.
and I would play as Guile. Now everyone else that was good at it would play as Ryu or Ken, but I
Mhm.
would play Guile, and I'd give you a fair old go. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it came from that. We started had a bit of a sort of manga-y video gamey
Uh-huh.
slant at the very beginning. That was kind of in with everything else. So yeah, we were named after Sonic Boom.
Oh, nice, nice.
That we were named after that move because I would start Street Fighter and you could bet dollars to donuts. It go 3, 2, 1, fight, and I would go Sonic Boom straight away, but a slow one because you could hide
Oh,
behind, you walk behind that slow one, and if you jumped over your head, you give it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I was
that
gonna
was
say when they jump over you, do you do that flash
yeah,
kick? Yeah,
exactly. Or you do the flash kick, which is
yeah.
or the jackknife, as you
Or
as you
the
called
yeah.
it, if you're a bit more kind of au fait with the Street Fighter 2 world. But
I
we better move on. We don't want to get. They are doing a new film of it though, and the cast is insane in it. I was on about it yesterday.
uh
Yeah, they're doing a new Street Fighter film, and the cast is amazing. Go and
Oh,
look
is
it
it?
up.
I hope so.
I won't take you off. Yeah, it's amazing.
I didn't
It's
like the
amazing.
first one. The first one was terrible.
I
No,
don't think
no,
anyone,
but
I don't think
it
anyone
is
liked the
funny.
first one.
But what about where Raul Julia plays M. Bison and he goes, "To you, it was the day I came into your village and murdered your father. To me, it was a Tuesday." That is a line, that is a line.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you now, I'm a Blanca main, so watch out.
Oh,
Watch out.
okay, Blanca man. Oh,
Yeah.
Neil McMinn, our old drummer, used to play as Blanca.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
but he was a problem when he got that charge, the electricity charge.
Yes,
Got
yes,
oh, the battles we had.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jose loves it when there's another video game person on
yeah.
on this because he'll totally nerd out, which is cool.
Yeah.
So do you guys have to have 6 people in the band at all times to make
Oh,
sure that the name
No,
works?
No,
we've never had
no.
six
The
people.
first 3 gigs, we had 6 of us, right? I seen him the other week, actually, our old trombone player. He's actually a blues pianist and like keyboard player. But we didn't need a trombonist. I mean, there's that many mouths to feed. You know what it's like being in a ska band? There's loads here. And it was like, yeah, the last, I mean, it's like having like a triangle player or something. So why do you need a trombone player? I'm not being funny to anyone. I'm not being funny to Robin from Random Man, but if you weren't doing the vocals as well, no one would want that. No.
Right.
Yeah, we don't need it. We just needed the saxophone, and then we put everything else on the backing tracks anyway. So
Yeah.
cool, cool.
So you guys have several different releases. You got your self-titled EP in 2002, the Turbo
Mm.
EP 2003, Songs to
Mhm.
Consume 2004, Baby Boom 2006, Rough
Mm.
Guide to Genre Terrorism 2006.
Gender terrorism. That maybe we do that in the next album, eh?
I'm
Put the
genre.
cat
I
amongst
don't
the
know why. I'm
pigeons.
sorry.
When
Sometimes
we
this
all get
autocorrect is just ridiculous.
staged and right wing.
Arcade Perfect and All In Single, that's 2007. Rough and Ready, live in Manchester. City of Thieves, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Several singles. Now, can you tell us? I think you guys started in 2002 with that first self-release, right?
Hmm.
Can you tell us how did the band actually come together?
Just me and Laila were mates at school, and then we were in a band. There was that whole sort of like ska punk little like it was like at loads of gigs in the UK. That late 90s, and there was a big band on that scene called Cat Down, and then there was like King Prawn, who Nixon King Prawn now, um, and the it because I guess because it was like there's different theories of why that kind of exploded, but it just I mean, I suppose it was like bands like No Doubt and Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, and then there was bands like Mad Caddies and Suicide Machines, and there was all those bands on that. They just inspired. I don't know why, and a lot of UK bands put their own twist on it. So at the time there was a lot of the bands, but like 1998, 1999, me and Lady were in a ska punk band called Grimace. And then we went university and that, and we all went round here and we just kind of were doing music and that, and later did politics. But we Grimace ended, but then I needed to like do some like I had to do like a recording thing at university, like a dissertation or whatever. no, dissertation's when you write it, but it was like my coursework or whatever. And then we have free studio time. So I got us in, but in a much different mode. And the headspace was different. And it was like, right, we're gonna do a punk band that does all these different genres. And it was like a thesis. And it was like genre terrorism came from that because I was writing my dissertation about the Prodigy, not the Prodigy, sorry, the Specials' influence on Blur and the Prodigy in the streets.
Mm.
So I was writing that in my dissertation, and I came up with the term genre terrorism to describe the Prodigy and what they were doing and how it had been inspired by the Specials. And then hand in hand in that, I recorded this EP, which was like 6 tunes, which was the original. It wasn't the original demo. Sorry, it was 4 tunes, but it had a version of Northern Skies on it, which we actually played Northern Skies last night. That was like a reggae tune from very, very, very early on. And we did a demo of it. Well, it wasn't a demo, it was like my uni coursework. And then we sent that out to some people, some promoters that we knew from Grimace. And then we got 3 gigs. We capped down. So our second ever gig was in front of, that was probably their Countdown's biggest gig ever in Manchester because they were doing quite well at the time. So our second gig was in front of 700 people. So it was just like, we put all, you know, that thing where it's like luck is preparation plus whatever it is. But I'd been a very active part of the scene and we'd put gigs on and I'd had old bands staying at my house and all that. So as soon as we started, it was kind of like, it was like Barney and Layla's new band kind of thing. So just straight away, it just went bang. And it's a very interesting thing that we were slogging away and banging our head against the brick wall with Grimace. And then 6 months later, we start up, call ourselves something new. It wasn't all the same band members, but it was configured slightly differently. But then straight away, we got signed to a label, and we're then in the studio with Ace from Skunk Anansie like 6 months later or something. But that would have never happened to Grimace. It was a funny. It's an interesting thing, and by that point we were all like 20, 21, whereas in Grimace we were like teenagers. So yeah, that's how we started. Yeah.
That name brings me back. That's Skunk Anansie. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. So Ace from Skunk Anansie, he like teaches in Brighton. He's just an all-round amazing dude. But I think he attempted the Guinness Book of Records for the most guitar pedals ever used. Or have I made that up? Like Nick, is Nick there?
He's not in the room, no.
Oh,
I'll ask him later.
Yeah, you need to check that on Google.
So how does your first practice session look like, and how often do you guys practice?
What now?
We never practice. Are you kidding? No. We learn. So it used to be easier because we all lived in the same place. We pretty much lived in the same house.
Oh.
And then, as we got older, a few of us moved to London, and then Barney moved back to Manchester. So the band is still based in Manchester, the northwest area, but me and Nick are in London. So we should still rehearse, we should still practice, because most of the band can get together and do it. But we only realised that this weekend that it is possible, and that it's possible, and that it should be mandatory.
Our first rehearsals, right? Originally they were in this place called Beehive Mill and Ancoats. It's all like been gentrified now, and it's all. But there was nothing there. But these big old warehouses. There was a place called Sankey Soap, which was like it was like a club. It was like cool, and they had really good DJs on. But Neil used to work there. Our old drummer used to work in this Beehive Mill. So we'd go to rehearsal, right? And I think we used to rehearse every Tuesday. It's a good day Tuesday, because nothing good ever happens on a Tuesday. So we'd rehearse every Tuesday, and we'd go to Yadgar Curry and get a rice and three, and then we'd go to rehearsal, and then we'd go to the Offie on Tib Street and get some beers on the way. Me, Laila, and Ben used to go Yadgar Curry, but I also remember we used to sometimes we'd go to the Weatherspoons, which is a cheap pub chain, right? And for $2.99, right, they'd do a beer and a burger, but the burger was the most prison. It had nothing on it. It had nothing on it. So me and Layla, this is
So
true.
dry.
We
Like
would
the bread
we
was
would buy
so dry. There
cheese.
was
We would
nothing.
buy cheese slices. We
Oh,
would
yeah.
buy cheese slices, and I can picture her pulling them out of her handbag, and she would put the cheese slices on the burger. So you got burger and chips, but it had no moisture whatsoever. It was just
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
fried
There's
in
no
Wow.
relish. There's no
no nothing.
ketchup. It
But
was
so we brought our
literally
own
like
cheese
if you
slices.
threw that at someone, it would explode on them. There was no moisture whatsoever.
But
But
yeah,
listen, it fed us. We're none of us. We're all working class. We didn't we didn't come from money. Like we couldn't afford. Our parents didn't make us pack lunches and to go off and rehearse. So we had to make it work, and we
Right.
did. You
Yeah.
but
know.
those early rehearsals, what I think is mad, right? It's like if I write a tune now,
Yeah.
or Nick writes a tune, or James writes a tune, we'll kind of record it because you can now. You just got your garage band and that. But like in them days, we kind of, I suppose we were actually quite tech savvy with it. We were kind of one of the earlier bands that would do it. But you'd stand there and you'd go, right, in this bit, now, bar seven of this bit, you go, da 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 da, and I'll go, da 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 da. And it just seems such a laborious way to write music. Do you remember, Layla? I remember writing Rough Guide to Your Terrorism. I can, really remember it. And I remember that, why we all just do something, da da da, in Apathy Begins at Home. And I remember I was like writing it, and it's like, okay, all right, let's try something different this time. It takes ages. Whereas now you'd just be sat on your own and you go, no, that's crap. Well, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just funny. It's different now, the way you write music. But in a way, it's better, that old way, because you do more weird shit. Like, you kind of, like, now you kind of go, oh, well, that we'll just copy and paste that bit over. But in them
Mm.
days, yeah, maybe we should go back to get rid of the iPad, get rid of GarageBand and Logic, and get back to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Now let's talk about the institutionalized song and video. Very fun video to watch. Great song to cover. How did you guys come about to cover that song out of so many, iconal type of punk songs?
Well, it's for a compilation called Master of Trumpets, which was specifically ska or ska punk or what that scene bands. Yeah, because trumpets it's all ska bands. So it's got like Suicide Machines on it, Voodoo Glow Skulls. It's got our mate Redeemer, which Pook's band, who's Pook runs the label. So Pook's mate of mine, mate of ours, and he said, do you guys want to do it? I was like, yeah, definitely want to do it, but I couldn't think. It was like, okay, what would work? And we had some like Layla and Nick more into their sort of rock, that kind of rock necessarily. So we had some talk of like, oh, not Motley Crue, but there was a few ideas, weren't there? And then I was like, I'm more into hardcore or that side of it. So Suicidal Tendencies, that was one of the first. I had that on vinyl, the first album, and that means a lot to me. That record. And it was just as soon as I just, you're just thinking through tunes. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? But for me, it was that do 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 do. So on the record, it's da na 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 na. But I thought, oh, that with a reggae beat, and like that could be like a double bass line. And then I remember it'd be like on WhatsApp. I'll be like, oh, it's maybe this da, 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 on an acoustic guitar, and then it's probably across the night I'm like, no, it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And then as soon as I think I probably did a demo of it actually, and then what was a pain though, speeding it up. We had to do that. It was a lot, but I think it's one of the best things we've done.
Yeah, it looks like Layla had a lot of fun with that video. And
Yeah,
whose idea was it to change it from Pepsi to cup of tea?
that was me.
That was you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because I don't. Pepsi's not my thing,
Yeah.
but cup of tea. I love a cup of tea. So yeah, and the video was fun. It was one of those we had a lot on, and our friend Matt Stocks, who produced the video, like directed the video. It was his idea to do the video as it is, shot by shot. And we had like 2 days to do it.
Mhm.
And I was a little bit like, it's not going to work. We haven't got enough time. It's going to take like we just
Not
have it.
like you.
I haven't got the headspace for this. Um, and then Barney was like, right, I'll sort all the outfits out. Well, there was a big thing here, I didn't want to do any of the logistics or sorting out because I had to memorize all the lyrics. Like, that's
First
no
world
mean
problems.
feat. Like, in 2 weeks to memorize all those lyrics, I did
A
it,
lot.
which it was a lot. And especially when you mime into a video, you can't fluff a line.
Yeah.
Um, and so it was a lot of fun. And the people that play my mum and dad, it's my best friend Maddie and her partner, or her husband now, Mike, and then the the dog we look after, Gatsby. It was just it was a lot of fun.
But shout out to Paul Smith and the New Crossing as well because it just happened that we were playing a gig. So that
Yeah,
that bit that like, the live footage, it's not like
it's
we
all
got a load of
real.
people in. That's an actual gig. I think we played it
Yeah.
twice. So we told them all and we said, "Oh, it's going to be the video and that." But because it's kind of like it was like it's very close knit scene at that place. So it was very yeah, it just was a lot of things coincided at once to make it work. Yeah.
Cool.
Your music blends ska, punk, hip hop, and more. How do you decide which styles to bring into the song? And what does your writing process look like when balancing these genres?
Well, um, I suppose it's always been quite. I mean, at the beginning, we were like, obviously, we were feeling it out,
Uh,
and it was like, it was always the idea was like, okay, so certain bands can mix. We mix punk and ska work really well, and the specials was such a great blueprint for how you can mix the energetic sound of punk rock with ska to bring back a revival of a genre that was essentially a tangent of rock and roll, right? It's like, found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. That's ska. That's just what Jamaicans mix that with mento, and it's got that upstroke and it's got that bounce. Specials put that with punk, but then you look at bands. There was like bands like The Clash, and even like bands that influenced us when I was younger, like Blur, where they managed to make albums where they would take different turns between something. So it wasn't just like rock tune, rock tune, rock tune, ballad, which it tends to be with like Guns N' Roses or whatever, that kind of
mm,
thing. But it's more of a thing where so I suppose from our very beginning we did that. We did with the first tune on our first EP is like this mad mix of like punk, fast punk, ragga, ska punk, and then it was a reggae tune, and then it was like a hardcore punk tune, and then we did like a ska punk tune, and it's all within a certain realm, but
mm,
it's making more of a statement of these stylistic changes and maybe concentrating on stuff that other bands maybe went to the line and we kind of went past the line and went, okay, well that. So it was always, but it's not. It. I think that with the Rough Guide, which is the first album, I think we did like it's like two tunes, and then it's a hip hop tune, and then there's a reggae tune in the middle, and then it's three tunes, then there's a hip hop tune, there's and a punk tune, and then there's like a reggae tune at the end. Um, and it's a case of balancing it all out. So we keep it like our meat and potatoes is like our tunes like bigger than punk rock, Sound of Revolution, Piggy in the Middle, which is a bit faster and harder. Like there's these tunes what sound like Sonic Boom 6. You know what I mean? We've got enough of our own sort of vibe and identity where we could go, okay, well that sounds like a Sonic Boom 6 tune. So there's a few of them, like on our new album that's not come out yet. There's two or three of them, and then or maybe four, and then you go, all right, well then there's the sort of drum and bassy one, here's the reggae one. So it's about finding that balance, and there's loads of styles and stuff. It's we're a rock band that sprinkles in bits and bobs of other stuff, but it's not like we're not going to come out with like a like just like a mad indie tune or anything. We're just there's always within this kind of certain realm, but it's something that we think about and balance, but it's not something that's tremendously contrived where we say, oh, we need this. But we will sit there when we're discussing our records and be like, no, it needs something heavier. I suppose it's just the mood in it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not. I don't think we really think in terms of styles so much as just we know what's us, we know what sounds good as us, and sometimes it's ska, sometimes it's. I was just thinking, there's nothing on our new album that's ska. There's no man, no right. Whereas that's just ska, but that just worked. You know what I mean? Like we didn't sit there and go, oh, we need a ska tune. It was just that that came out that day, whatever. Yeah.
Well, that was a perfect. I'm glad that you segmented into the No Man No Right song, because I was gonna ask Layla, is this something that you wrote? Is this something personal to the band? How is this, of such importance in this time, day and age, especially in our country, with some of the lyrics that you wrote and what's behind that song, the meaning?
Well, I don't write the lyrics, Barney does.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry,
in
Barney.
no.
That's fine.
But in particular with No Man, in particular with that album, the focus was for Barney to write from my perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas the other
Yeah.
albums was more, I with the other albums, I struggled to connect to the lyrics as much as I did with the last album and this new album, because a lot of the lyrics were Barney, but me singing them. Whereas with the F-bomb, it was very contrived in as in it was written from my point of view, which just made it so much more. It just made it so much easier to connect and to mean what I was saying. There you go.
But
Nice.
That's you right there on the CD too.
Yeah, there I am.
She was more. You were more present in the conception of it. So, like, worship yourself. Like Laila wrote, says that I'm proud of my child. She wrote it herself, didn't you? But Laila wrote "Worship Yourself," and it was like a phone message, and it's literally. I mean, we still have it somewhere, and she just goes, "Don't doubt, worship yourself," da 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 da, and it had the same melody, but I changed the lyrics a bit. But then I just heard it as a good, like the kind of vibe of it. But there was a lot of that across that album, and that was a more concerted effort to do that. So No Man No Right was originally a tune called "They Will Not Call Me Bitch," and it had a lot of the same lyrics. And it was about the way that the tattoo on the base of the back. It's about the way that like men can tend to get mad at womenkind, and sort of like dismiss them as being judge them for being slutty. It's on Madonna, the whole what's it, mother of Madonna complex, that whole thing in psychology, and it's very few tunes that's like that. I had the lyrics written to this other tune, and it had a totally different. I mean, we never used it. It wasn't very good, but it was like, okay, we don't like that, but the lyrics are good. And then I was just banging away at it. As sometimes with songs, it's so weird. Sometimes with songs, there's a tune on our new album called "Devil on Your Shoulder," which people should bookmark this. Right, sometimes tunes, especially when you're younger, when you start, you don't know when to let them go. You don't know when to give up. Sometimes you just got to go, no, it's shit. No matter how much you work on it. Like, what about Thingy on the new album as well? The one with menstrual cramps on it, Layla. That was. There've been a couple of songs in this new album was so hard to get finished, But with No Man No Right, I remember leaving a voicemail. Or I remember phoning Laila. I remember being in my bedroom in my old house in London, and I was like, I've got it. And it was just like, look at the lyrics. How does it make you feel? And it was just Scar. And then when I got No Man No Right, I kind of, it was like no woman, no cry, no man, no
Mm-hmm.
right. That's what, and it's like, it's kind of, it's not syntactically, that's not right, is it? But it makes you go, we just, no man, no right, in it, like, no man, no right. So someone comes on and mansplains something in the garage, no man, no right. Do you know what I mean? And then, yeah, and then everyone loves it now, no man, no right. Yeah. So, yeah, because I just knew
The, be-
second,
the
yeah, I knew that that was going to be good. And then
the
it was
best
supposed to
thing
go.
about that, go on, sorry, Barney.
So it was going to go. I had the album mapped out. It was a very weird order. It started out with Love, then Worship Yourself, da 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 da, and then the guy who produced it was like, No Man No Right was like ninth or something out of the 11 tunes, and then Dan was just like, No, this is the best tune. It's got to start, and it's got that at the beginning, which was like, yeah. I mean, it's not like I stood against it. It was like, yeah, no, God, you're right. But the tunes, what I thought people were gonna connect with on that record were, it's funny, they got kind of buried at the end, and No Man No Right was the came out the winner. Yeah.
Well, even we played a festival this weekend, and in I'm sure it's like this in America as well, but in festivals, lots of families are there, so a lot of kids can
Mhm.
attend, whereas normal gigs, you got to be 16 or 18. And it's always amazing when you look over to the crowd, and there's like the two like kids in front of us last night, probably like 10 years old, two little girls, just like singing along all the words to No Man No Right. And you're like, you know what? We've done some good. If nothing else comes from it, like we our lyrics are leaving some positivity wherever we go.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Sonic Boom 6 lyrics often tackle social and political issues, like you guys said. How do you
Mm.
choose the topics you sing about, and has there been a focus shift over the years?
Um. Hmm. It's not really a case of well, I suppose it's not a case of choosing topics as finding something that you care about
Mhm.
that marries up with that particular piece of music, and sometimes uh, that can come. There's, the way I describe it with everybody and when I talk about it, it's like the gimmick of the tune. In hip hop, they call it the concept, right? So
Right.
Stand by Eminem is a incredible concept tune. So it's the concept as the guy writing the letter. But we will say a gimmick. So what's the gimmick in this tune?
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of the time, it's finding a sentiment that marries with that particular piece of music. So like on the new album, and either can come one or the other. You might come up with a good riff, and then that that informs. So there's a tune on a new album called Weirdo. Actually, it's called I Was a Teenage Weirdo, kind of like a horror nod.
Mhm.
And that was from a riff that Nick wrote, and I was just round at Layla and Nick's house jamming out on an acoustic guitar, like playing the riff, trying some melodies. And I was just, because I'm hip hop's my first, like, well, my music, that's how I think about music, really, or that sort of alternative rock hip hop. So it's always like I would just sing hip hop melodies over things. So on that, it's just making me feel, I don't know what you heard about me, but I'm a motherfucking
Yeah.
PMP. So
Yeah.
we were just singing that over it. We had that, and
Okay.
then and then
That's
that
so
turned
cool.
into what did we feel like? This tune feels like a bit like the vibes, and we'll just like chat and workshop it and go, what does this make us feel? Like I think we're quite good like that. Do you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
don't. There's a tune on Arcade Perfect which really does my head in now, which is the Strange Tale of Sid the Strangler, and that is just. The lyrics are just so incongruous to the tune, and that was cause we had to write an album 1 year after we'd done our first, and that's one of the few tunes. And Flower on there is a bit. The lyrics just are not what they could be because we were rushed and it was like, okay, we need to get that out there. But I think it's not really we choose topics so much as
Uh,
a lot of the time the music will dictate, but sometimes I'll feel that pissed off about something or want to talk about something that will be the genesis of writing the tune itself. So there's a tune on a new album called We Want to Be Heard, which came from Laila, which came from a conversation which she had with a trans teenager. I don't know which way round they were trans, but they were talking to her and
uh,
saying there's all this bullshit. I mean, I've got trans mates, so particularly a good trans mate, and it's the same thing. There's all this noise about them pushing their way in and having their opinion, and everyone has to go woke, bro, go bro. But ultimately, they just want to be considered in society and they just want to be heard. They want to be allowed to have a conversation at a table and go, well, here's where we come from on that point. That's the majority of it. On social media, everything is on either side lunatics, right? And they get all the bandwidth. But most people that are living their lives as trans people, like most Muslims, like most anything, they just want to go about the business and live a happy life and be a decent person. So I had that concept of we just want to be heard. And I was just thinking it's got to be angry, but it's got to be fun, but it's got to be upbeat. So there's a good example of something where it was like this kid spoke to her, and then she got in the van and she was like, this kid spoke to me and said, we don't want to we don't want everybody to be, you know, there's all this stuff about toilets and all that. We don't care. We want to be heard. We just want so that beget that tune, and then so that it can come either way. Yeah.
right. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Now there's a song that you guys have, "People Act Like They Don't Know." Song. It incorporates kind of to me like a dancehall toasting kind of vibe in there. Now, and I only see this with English bands that do it, like Cut Capers, the Skints.
Yeah.
You guys, bands like that. It's not something that we normally hear in the States.
Mm.
Is that as like you guys have something that's motivated you guys to do something like this? Some type of um,
Well, I suppose, like Laila, do you want to field that one? I mean, why did we do? To me, a dancer was just another one of those. It was like Bangra. It was just we at that time. I was every weekend, like literally from Thursday. I'd have literally in them days when I was at uni, I'd go out on Thursday and me and my mates would go Rockwell, now still at uni, and I'd have half a pill on a Thursday, and then it come Friday and it'd be Saturday, and we just out. The club scene in Manchester, forget it, it was unbelievable, and we didn't know what we had. It was incredible. So you go, they play Murder She Wrote, they play Ring the Alarm at night, and it'll be a club, it'll be a reggae dance all night, but it'd be a load of students with dreadlocks, like mostly white, but then there was loads of times where go jungle nights, and go all sorts of things. So that was just another. That was no different than jungle. It was no different than UK garage. It was no different than Bangra. It was no different than anything else what we mixed into punk, because that's what we were hearing at clubs, and it sounds so contrived, but it was literally I mean, I suppose you get bands in the UK doing it like the Skints, because I suppose that our reggae culture is probably more like sound system. Like our club culture and the rave culture, and in towns like Bristol, like Leeds, like London, Manchester, you'd go to nights which had that. I don't think there was quite the same amount of separation or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like the way American bands do reggae, I would think of like Sublime and Something Stupid, which is like, it's a really quite a distinct form of reggae, and that has dancehall elements and everything, but it's a little bit different. I just think ours maybe is, I don't know. It's the club culture in the UK, I think. And bands like, Massive Attack came from the Wild Bunch, and that has that kind of sound, that idea of the pirate radio station, the MC would in the UK would jungle comes from mixing hardcore breaks, which came out, acid house and the hardcore breaks got mixed in with reggae bass lines and the skank, and that became jungle, and then that became drum and bass. So on that jungle music, there would always be an MC, and that would be sort of that would often have be like a reggae toasting dancehall thing. So I think that on top of the pops, you had that on top of the pops over here, like we had madness when we were kids, and jungle in the mid 90s was like it was on telly. It wasn't. It was like underground, and it was kind of like cool, but it permeated everything. It was always there. So the Skints are younger than us. They grew up with that. They grew up in London. So you just I don't know. I just feel like in the same way that ska for us, ska is no different than reggae or dancehall in the way that we play it generally. I mean, we did that tune My Philosophy on our like little EP where we kind of did a ska punk tune, but that's not the way we normally would incorporate ska music into our music. We play it in the sort of same way as we do reggae and we do anything else. Hip hop, we it's just kind of in there. So dancehall's just another one of those.
Yeah, I love it. I love the sound. I wish we could hear more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that yesterday. I was actually writing a little tune when we were backstage. We listened to this band, and I was and they had a kind of a do, and I was like, oh, we could do something mad with that. But anyway, yeah, maybe that'll be next album if we ever.
Was it Long ZD did like the
Yeah,
Scosset thing? Well, yeah,
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the first
I've got that on vinyl.
Yeah.
I've got that on vinyl. Yeah,
I have
guy.
that ska beats.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah, that too.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah,
Right.
I should get mine.
Here it is. Is this it?
Yeah, I should gonna get mine too.
Oh,
Well, I guess a little break.
There's
There we
a
go.
little bit of a bromance going on here.
Look at this. All right.
He got able to look at his.
All right. Okay. We're gonna.
There it is. There's his.
Oh,
Oh, he just dropped. Oh, he broke his. No.
Oh, yeah.
One side of the wall to the other.
Wow.
touch-
Twinsies.
if we touch them together, we'll
Total
start
twinsies,
floating.
yeah.
Right. Well, I'm gonna get a
Wow.
drink anyway. Then, in that case.
Cool. My question, I guess.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us how your first show went? Were you guys nervous at all? Where was it at? What venue?
It's in Wales.
As
It's
in ever or Sonic Boom 6?
Sonic Boom 6. As Sonic Boom 6, yes.
Newport.
Yeah, so we played a club in Newport, which is in Wales, called TJ's. And I don't remember much of it because I was probably drunk. But I do remember, so Nick, who I'm married to, was at that gig because his band, so we were supporting a band called Cat Down, and Nick's band, Howard's Alias, were playing as well. So that was the first time I ever met Nick. I think it was like 2002. And yeah, I remember when me and Nick got together and I asked what he'd have thought of our band, because he was one of the first people to ever see us, and he thought we were very strange.
Yeah, we
Really?
didn't get it. We didn't get it together until
No, we were not.
like-
we had the look. We had the look.
it was
Yeah.
like,
Look,
and we had the
We
idea,
had it
but it
down
was like,
perfectly.
it was
But
a year
we
later.
could play as well, but we just couldn't. It,
Do you know,
it didn't. It didn't
it was-
fit.
It was being on tour with King Prawn we went on tour with King Prawn and we were opening, and it was like, and even then we were getting played on Radio 1, like on the punk show. They were playing our like our demo literally, but it was after that tour. So on our first EP, there's a tune called Blood for Oil, and it's like it's like raggy, but then it's got like it's got like a drum and bassy vibey MC thingy going on, and that was that was it. It was like we wrote that and we were like, oh yeah, that's good because it's it sounds like these other UK bands, but we've got us taking in turns doing the MC and vocals, and then we've got this very epicy, poppy, and I was like, ah, yeah, 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 no, that's us. Do you know what I mean? And then once you've got that, and then
Uh,
yeah, people like once you've got that, you kind of just go rinse and repeat. It's easy.
yeah.
Now your band is coming up with their 25th anniversary in a couple years or almost
How
like a
can
year
that
and a
be?
half.
I'm only 31. How can that be?
Now, what has kept the band's longevity together so long? Are you all friends, political views? Like what is it?
We're friends. We're friends. I've known Barney since I was 11 years old,
Mhm.
and I'm married to Nick, who is the guitarist in Sonic Boom 6.
And that's
And,
more
you
than
know,
friends, isn't it?
we've
Yeah.
got, no, but you know what I mean? It helps keep the band together, put it that way.
Okay.
It's not that
Yeah, and
serious, is it?
we get on. You know, we've known each other for so long, but we're all
ADHD.
very similar. We're very what?
I said we're all very ADHD. That's what Kevin was saying to me in the van yesterday. He
Hey,
was like,
just
driving.
join the crowd.
That's what Kevin was saying. He was like, "Well, why are we compelled to do this?" I was like, "I think we're all a similar form of insane." But yeah, but no, yeah, no, she's right. And it when it's fun, it is. You know what I mean? It is fun to like it. You kind of just go, "Oh God, let's plaster on a fake smile and plow through this hour and 10 minutes of shite one more time." But it is actually fun in a way that you do get very used to it, and you do get very. What's the word? Not jaded, but kind of nearly jaded with it. But then by the fact that you're compelled to carry on, keep doing it, it must be giving you something. And I suppose if we didn't do it,
The
because I do know
the
sometimes
option is to not do it. And I think for
are you
us,
are you
the
leaving the
op
band?
the option to not do it is we're not there yet. Yeah, as in, why would we not want to write music and play music
Well,
to
no,
other
no, I
people?
am aware that sometimes you'll watch a Facebook story and we've got like a feel, and there's people, loads of people dancing and going like that and shouting the shit back us, and you just look at it and go, oh yeah, that is pretty cool. So yeah.
Now, there's a lot of differences with the songs. Um, there's a song "Sunny Side of the Street," which is entirely different than a lot of the catalog of the band. Is this something that's been within the songwriters? It's been in your repertoire for a while, and just you finally got the lyrics down for the music, or how did that come about?
Do you know how it come about? Layla's still mates with her, but my ex-girlfriend, we were walking to town and I can picture where I was. And she went, should we go on the sunny side of the street? And I didn't know that there's a jazz standard called that, and there's a tune by the Pogues called that, or there's another big tune. But she just said it, and I was just like, that's a tune. Because we always tried to be I mean, we were having this conversation, I mean, on stage just about, about where we fit politically and everything. And we've always been very, always a lot of hope and a lot of, it's like, yeah, life's shit, but let's have a dance. You know what I mean? So that sunny side of the street fit in that. I don't, I, that, there was no big, there was no big okay, this is a change in direction because it was just it worked on acoustic, so I suppose that's why it does spill out a little bit. But it's very interesting, that tune, because we played it on Friday and everyone was loving it. We played it last, didn't we? Because I was just like, because we had the acoustic guitar there, I was just like, let's play Sunnyside. So we ended on Institutionalized, and no one remembered the lyrics, neither me nor her. So we were like, we can't end it like that. So we played Sunnyside of the Street. And then everyone was singing it, and I just thought, it's like, this was never on an album. It was on
Mhm.
like a compilation, but it was just a video on it. And I said,
Mhm.
people hear the tunes that aren't on albums. It's a different way of you assume because it wasn't an album, it's not as well known, but I think it's one of our more well known tunes actually. Yeah, and then funny, it was something Ginger from the Wild Arts recently. He messaged me. I messaged him because I was working with him, and he was like, uh, Sunny Side of the Street, man. I still go back to that. Love that tune. So I was like, all right, we need the Sunny Side of the Street on the new album. It's literally that, it's literally shit like that. And then I wrote Sunny Side of the Street rip off on the new album. It's all right, we're ripping ourselves off. So it's, yeah. And that tune on the new album, that one, it was in the film Heretic. Hugh Grant says to the girls, he talks about iterations. So he talks about the Hollies. Sometimes all I need is the air that I breathe. Becomes Creep by Radiohead. Becomes The Sixth Day of November by Sonic Boom 6. Because he was talking about that chord progression and the iterations of it. So I kind of knew the chord progression to Creep anyway, but it was like, all right, we're going to write a tune in that. It's just, you know what I mean? That's literally, so there's a million different ways you can think about things and do things, but horror films have been a big inspiration, just generally. Yeah, make life worth
Like
living.
I was showing my girlfriend your music, and I showed her No Man No Right, and she really liked that. And I showed her Sunny Side of the Street, and she's all, I love this. And
Right.
she doesn't like ska. We could forgive her for that.
Yeah.
But she really liked your band, so she just thought, oh wow, this is so different, but still really good.
She's got great
Been
taste.
able, always been able to do
She's
that.
sitting
I
right here
think
listening.
I think we've always been able to do that though, because like we can play a festival and we can play No Man No Right, or because we're not a ska band, but we're not a ska band. That's the thing, we don't, and it's
The Slackers are a
been
scar.
detriment.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of been detrimental because people need to feel like a band needs to be pigeonholed somehow. Um, but also what I remember somebody saying to me that a great a sign of a great band, and even though I do say so myself, is that when you do a cover version, you still sound like your band.
Mm.
And that's something we've been able to do. Like even when we do cover versions, institutionalized, like we did a Chumbawamba cover, we've covered the streets, we've covered like we still sound like Sonic Boom 6 covering that artist. And I don't think everyone can do that. And
Hum,
I'm not saying that's good or bad actually, because
humble
if you don't
brag.
like Sonic Boom 6, if you don't like Sonic Boom 6, it's not very good, is it? Because
Well,
you're not gonna like it.
there's different types of conversion because I was listening right the other day, right? Foo Fighters covered "I Don't Want to Hear It" by Minor Threat, like last week or something. And then I seen on Instagram, it's like Ian Mackay had posted a letter what Dave Grohl had sent him. So I went on fucking listen. I don't want to hear it. And it's just a straight cover. And you're like, yeah, go on, Dave. Go on, Foo Fighters. And then why? I looked at the comments and one goes, he's just done absolutely nothing with it. They've just literally covered. There's no point in this. It's different. It's like, get lost. They've just put it out. It's not. They've not released it as the new single and made a video for it. It's just them going, this is I Don't Want to Hear It by Minor Threat, and we're just going to play it. And we've done cover versions like that, but we probably didn't record them and put them out. But you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sometimes there's a cover versions of Song and Dance, but yeah, we've done some cool cover versions, I think. We did Rasputin by Boney M, and then we got a string section for it on Radio 1. That we were on tour constantly for about 5 years. And you go, all right, in 2009, we rocked up to Radio 1 at Maida Vale and got a string section and played Rasputin by Boney M. Why? We'd never do
Why
that now.
not?
Hey, do you remember?
Yeah, I said, why not? You're saying
Yeah.
why, I'm saying why not?
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, those Russians.
So, which song gets the crowd going? And do fans start a mosh pit at all at your shows?
All of them. Yeah, of course they do. Yeah. Best believe it. They're not moshing. They're not.
It's
I mean,
encouraged.
not as much as they used to. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's not as much not as many broken arms and bloody noses as there used to be, which is why I don't enjoy it as much anymore. But yeah,
Virus is a song that
yeah, they jump around.
as soon as we play it, even if people don't, for me, it's like, when you play a festival and not everyone's there to see you because it's a festival.
Right.
And No Man No Right always goes down really well. Virus
Yeah, we
always
get
gets people
moshers.
going.
Mm. Nice, nice.
Now, how many continents has your band played on?
How many continents
Loads.
is there? Five. So we've not played Africa, not yet. We've not played we have played Asia. We've played
We
Japan.
played Japan.
So yeah, and obviously we played America.
Not
We
played Australia
played Europe. No, that'd be good. That'd be good,
yet.
Australia. What now? So three.
But we toured a lot before Brexit. So Brexit was when the UK came out of the European Union.
It's when
And
we
so it
relinquished our dominance and superiority on the rest of Europe.
Well, yeah, and relinquishing that dominance and superiority means that bands from the UK now, if you want to tour around Europe, the whole continent of Europe, it's really expensive. There's lots and lots of each each country has a different rule because you're no longer in the EU, and we haven't really played
No.
Germany, Austria. We used to go to France all the time, and even bigger bands that we know. Now the cost,
Yeah.
even selling merchandise, you now need card readers that have a European business address attached to them. Otherwise, you cannot take card payments, and you have to have that for
Hmm.
every European country that you're
Oh,
playing
wow.
in. And we just took that for granted.
Oh
We
yeah.
used to think having to get a carnet to go to Croatia was like the hardest thing ever. Now, I really feel for bands that like we were able to get a punk rock booking agent, which now don't really exist. And he was able to just go, right, here's 200 gigs out of 365 days, off you go. And we
Off
were
you
able
go.
to do that. And we weren't, but we, I truly believe we don't have to rehearse now because we've done all those gigs. But if
Mm.
you're a band starting out and you're doing 20 gigs a year, 30 gigs a year, you're just not going to get that sort of that thing where you know that if you're on at a certain time, you've got to be by the side of the stage and ready to go 25 minutes before, and you can't be like wandering off. All those things came because we toured with band. For me, it was touring with Real Big Fish in the
Mm.
UK. They were a well-oiled machine. It was a military operation. And I think the first gig we did, maybe we left like the guitar amp on stage or whatever. And the tour manager had a really firm word with us and was like, you can't do that on this tour. And from that day, something clicked where it's like, actually, this isn't just fun. This is actually, we've got to do this properly. So yeah, I was speaking to a promoter a couple of days ago, and he was saying how difficult it is for newer bands to get a lot of gigs under their belt because there
Yeah.
just isn't the infrastructure for because it's
Yeah,
it's
little
it's
small
so
venues as
expensive
well.
to
Small
live. It's
venues.
so expensive to live now than it was 10 years ago.
Hmm.
People, I did like crappy admin jobs and lived with my uncle and but now I just don't so many people just they can't do that anymore because everything costs too much.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You can't just get in the van like we used to. Yeah. So you don't know what you've got till you're gone.
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't seem to go. But you don't know what you got till it's gone.
So you have
Yeah.
a lot of hip hop references in your lyrics, right? Like put
Yes.
the needle on the record, put the needle on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef?
Don't ask me about. I mean, I'm a huge hip hop fan, so of course I have to dial into it. Um, I feel, I mean, much as I like Humble, much as I like Good Kid, Mad City, like I feel that white people's reverence for Kendrick Lamar, like the sort of white indie rock sort of Radio 6 community. I don't know why. I, I like him, but it's not Jay-Z versus Nas, is it? You
I
know,
guess not. No.
Drake's just a goofy guy from Canada he's got me started from the bottom now. Like start from the bottom.
Oh no, no.
I'd rather put on start from the bottom than no. There's Kendrick Lamar tunes a lot like, but people treat him like he's like the second. I suppose I don't know. I mean, what do I listen to day in day out? I listen to Nas. I listen to Biggie. You know, I'm old now, so it's just like I I tell you what though, actually though, the dish tune, the big one with when he goes A minor, that is a banger.
Oh,
And the beat on that is
yes, it is a
ridiculous.
banger.
So I was listening to I was drunk at Christmas and I was on my own and I just put it on repeat in my headphones. I was like, Jesus Christ, he's killed him. He's killed him. But I
Yes,
suppose I was like, yeah, take him away, he's dead. But I feel like it's the same with Katy Perry, right?
right.
Where people get on this goofy thing where, like, because somebody in the public eye has been publicly shamed, then they all jump on the bandwagon with it, and they like. Katy Perry now is just a killer, kicker. Like she gets so roasted, she gets so taken the piss out of on social media. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, all them, they're up in the, and it's you could do Rihanna, they're all up in this sort of firmament. But then as soon as Katy Perry, and then she's just everyone's just making fun of her, and I
Yeah.
feel that that's. I mean, I'm not sat here pitying Champagne Pappy. I'm not, but at the same time, it's kind of like, reading into all this stuff. I mean, the halftime show with Kendrick, it was good, but he didn't have 50 Cent coming down upside down, did he?
No,
Do
I
you know
guess
what I
not.
mean?
Yeah.
That was that was a halftime show. Yeah, I suppose I don't I don't love Kendrick as much as the world loves him. And fair play to him, and I do listen to his records and I do keep up with hip hop. But I'm yeah, like I said, I mean, in the gym, I'm listening to Wu-Tang Clan. I'm not listening to Kendrick Lamar.
So you're old school. You're old school, Stim.
Yeah, well, to me, it's new.
Okay.
1993, 36 Chambers, 1993. Come on. Yeah, I'd Nas, Wu-Tang, Biggie, Jay-Z, the ones
Okay.
that are the best at it. And the
Yeah.
beats are better. You know what I mean? A boom
Yeah.
back over.
So,
Yeah.
Layla, because we don't have Layla for too much longer. Layla, how is it being the only woman in this band? How do you get along with the rest of the crew? Of course, you've got your husband in the band. You've you've known Barney since 11 years old. How is the cohesiveness with you? Are you the leader? Are you the voice of reason between these other guys? Tell us about this experience.
What was that? Sorry.
Just tell us about your experience in the band with a bunch of these guys.
Okay. Oh, so for me, it's only in hindsight now that I've grown up a bit that I used to sort of just try and fit in with the lads, try and be one of the boys, and always felt threatened by other women and other musicians that were women because it was so, the gigs were full of men.
Mm.
The tour the tour touring was always men, and it's only as I've got older that I've been able to realize that that's kind of what I had to do to survive being in that environment, and just not it was hard. Yeah, it was hard being the only woman. So the only natural thing for me to do was to kind of go, okay, well, I'll just try and be one of the guys and have fun, but also not really lean into being a woman, which I imagine sounds quite strange because it's obvious that I am not a guy. But it's only now, when I see more women at our gigs or people that identify as women at our gigs. I have lots more women friends than I used to have. And now I can sort of look back and go, oh, actually, that was quite weird. I think especially when you're a teenager, you know, from sort of, I've always hung around with boys. I've got two brothers. So there were never any, I didn't really have many friends that were girls. So it's been a joy sort of recognizing that and having lots more connections with other women. But also it's looking at the past and going, I made a lot of mistakes because of insecurities and not having any female role models in my life to realize that actually it's not a threat. It's just because it's different to me because I'm so used to being surrounded by men. It actually it being different isn't threatening. It's just something new that I've embraced. But yeah, it was quite tough. But I just I just dealt with it very badly, I think. But now I recognize that I was just trying to cope.
Hmm. And
But
now,
especially,
and I'm going to interject here because I'm going to ask Layla the last question and probably the most important question for you. How comfortable is that shirt you're wearing?
How comfortable.
Yeah, it looks so comfortable. It looks like one of those that you love. It's got the holes in it, and it just looks like it because I know that Barney at the beginning said about changing your shirt, but it looks so comfortable. Is that like your
He's only
favorite
said
shirt?
it. He only wants me to change it because it's Motley Crue and
I
he
don't
hates
really
Motley
want
Crue.
I
That's
don't
the
really
only
want you to
reason.
change it. You do you. You wear
I
what you
no,
want to
right.
wear.
This is really gonna make this is
They're
gonna
not
make you
one of your
laugh.
blind
So
spots.
I met a band when we were playing in America called White Noise.
Mhm.
I don't think they were going for very long. Um and the singer would he got a Sonic Boom 6 t-shirt to wear on stage. And there were like loads of little holes in it. And I was like, how have you made that t-shirt look old? And he showed me a trick. And that's what this is. I mean, this is very, very old.
Mhm.
Like, Nick, how old is this t-shirt?
Uh, 10 years.
Oh, it's only 10 years old, but these holes are me. These holes
Oh,
are the
you
little
made them
tricks.
yourself?
Okay,
I'll tell you what you do, right?
you
Oh, here's a trick.
distressed it.
So exactly, yeah, you get little scissors and you just put little holes in it and then you stretch them. But it isn't even mine, it's Nick's, and I was only allowed to put holes in it once he was done with it. But yeah, Barney's thing is he hates Motley Crue. I was
No,
never I, but I so when I was a kid, I was a massive Guns N' Roses fan, and because I'm very loyal, I wouldn't like any other bands. So I would certainly would. I remember somebody made me a tape of the Black Album from Metallica, and I remember giving it him back and going, "No, I'm a Guns N' Roses fan." I mean that, yeah, as if like I'm like Axel will know that no, keep your tape. I'm never going to listen to it. Um, and it's only as I've got older, I was never into Motley Crue at all. I used to, I, oh yeah, 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 yeah. But as I've got older, because Nick is into Motley Crue, like you just like kickstart my heart. You can't deny that song.
Mhm.
Like, and Dr. Feelgood. And I really, really want to hate it. because I just, yeah.
What is
And
this?
but
Right.
though,
What is this? It goes like this. That's the lamest riff I have ever,
but if
ever.
you sing it like that, it is.
No, on the
Like,
record, it sounds lamer than I sung it. When I think I added notes that made it more normal. Then it sounds.
anyway, this shirt is a representation of my growth. I
Okay.
can I
Once you've
can
slept in a
I
shirt,
can
though,
now listen to Motley Crue.
once you've slept in
That's
a
how much
t-shirt,
work I've done on myself.
but why is Morrissey your blind spot and those misogynistic sons of guns aren't? Do you know
But
what
they're
I'm?
not misogynist. They're not misogynist anymore.
Girls, girls, girls. It's misogynist.
Yeah, but they don't. They're not anymore, and I don't
What
listen
are
to
they
that
singing
song.
now?
They've split up.
They're not. They keep coming back for one more tour.
I just think there's a time and a place for that kind of music, and yeah, I don't know. You know what? I've got lots of blind spots. That's the thing about music. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Well, I
the
listen
thing about
in the
music
gym.
is that
I still.
the thing about
Sorry,
music is that
I'm
you
not to interrupt
can't
you.
you can't like all my morals and convictions that I really try hard to live by, I work really hard on my character because I was not a good person for a long time. But when it comes to music, it's like all that can go out the window, and it's very human, isn't it? That's why, like canceling artists it is so difficult and so it's that grey area, isn't it? Because like
Yeah.
if you cancel, like I know people, so the singer from what they call the Brimful of Asher, the singer out of
Corner
them,
shop.
Corner Shop, massive Morrissey fan. Like the Smiths, like he loves them. And I remember reading an article about where he was like, I'm gonna have to stop listening to the Smiths. And I felt really sad for him. I completely respected his point of view because he personally felt pushed to a place where he couldn't listen to the Smiths anymore. And I felt really sad that
But
that
that's fine because
music gets
he's
thrown
saying it
into the
about
thing
himself.
because of people's personalities.
It's when people start being didactic to other people because it's like Pantera. I mean, Marilyn Manson's one in it, and Pantera. Like, I still listen to Pantera, but when I listen to
Yeah.
Pantera, I'm not like listening. I'm not sat there going, "What is his opinion on this?" It's brutal music. But the thing is, with Motley Crue, I'm not against them because of the way they look towards women. I'm against them, Layla, because they're shite.
On that note, we will we
I'm only
will we
kidding,
will
but yeah,
we will agree to
I,
disagree.
I do sometimes in the gym, right? Because you know, "Beautiful People" by Marilyn Manson. I mean, I in my head,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
even I wouldn't listen to Marilyn Manson
Well, okay, well,
anymore.
just
Like
listen. Hear me
that's
out.
like you're
Hear me out. I
taking it
know it is. I know it is, and I know he's a bugger,
like,
and I know he's not a nice man. But that album was produced by Trent Reznor, so I kind of put it in my head. But
but it's interesting, isn't it? But you're
so
you're
I flip my
completely
phone
going
over.
back to
I've
my
had to flip my
point,
phone over in the gym because you just
so
like,
people
oh,
don't
what pump
see.
on that? But that,
So people don't see you listening to Marilyn
yeah,
Manson.
yeah, exactly. So I have been like, that's a genuine, anecdote from like, the last maybe 6 months or something. It's come on because it's on one of the, it's on some gym playlist that I've got, and it's like, okay,
I
I'm
think I do
feeling
think
that.
I think music is very, very, very personal. And I
Mhm.
think,
Bad Brains
me,
were homophobic,
but
and then you can go, okay, well, that is related to their Rastafarianism or maybe mental
we
health
don't need to
issues.
make
But
excuses. We don't
you
we
put it in your
not
head.
not it's not excuses, but we don't need for me, music is very personal. If somebody gets offended if I wear a Morrissey t-shirt, then it's up to me to decide whether I wear that anymore. But I think the onus does need to be with me deciding on I wouldn't wear a Morrissey t-shirt. There you go. That's it. But I flipping love Morrissey. I probably listen to the Smiths and Morrissey once every couple of weeks. No, once a week. Like,
Yeah.
that is my go. Like, You Are the Quarry is my go-to if I'm feeling sad, if I just want some nostalgia, if I'm having a bath, like, but it's a very personal thing. But I wouldn't. I just think it's quite complicated, isn't it? The relationship we have with music and how you bring that into discussion with friends and other people. And it's because I remember having this conversation where I used to work and someone was saying, "Oh, who's your favorite Beatle?" And I'm like, John, all of John's songs and even even the problematic parts of John, I relate to. Like
Yeah.
I relate to,
Mhm.
Yeah.
jealous guy. Like I used to be the most possessive, jealous, hurting people. Like so I can relate to that. And I remember this person going, "Oh no, you can't like John. He's cancelled." And I was just like, what? Like you literally just asked me who my favorite Beatle was. And John isn't cancelled. Like if you actually read about it, he was on a journey of trying to, redeem himself. And even if he wasn't, he was an integral part of the Beatles. I'm not gonna go on Facebook and go, no, you can't. Like John is the best because blah blah blah. I'm not gonna argue with people that want to cancel him. But if I think it's John, then that's my belief that
Yeah, yeah.
John's a badass.
You need to stop playing Gary Glitter in the van though, Layla. That's
Do you know what? I have never liked Gary Glitter.
anyway,
Never,
no, let's get off
never,
that.
ever. Even as a kid, I would look at him and go, that there's just something
Beastly.
awful about him.
I think with the Smiths, for me, I started listening in early high school, and it spoke to me because
Yeah.
at that time it
Mm,
was something that I needed. The lyrics, talking about the different struggles. There's
Yeah.
the
mm,
suicide themes, there's loneliness, there's self
yeah,
pity, those types of things in high school as a confused teenager, kind of helped me to kind of express my feelings and to get them out there and to know that somebody else
Yeah.
yeah,
along with the music that Mar, and Rourke and
Yeah. Incredible.
Joyce
Joyce.
wrote,
Yeah.
just really it struck a chord with me, and um, I could really relate to it, and
Right.
so it kind of helped
yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah, totally.
Mhm.
But one thing
But
that,
but but, but,
that
then what? Why can I'm not saying anyone's saying this, but why can you not like the music but not like the people? Or
Mhm.
do
it's
you have
separate
to
the
like
art
the
and the
people?
artist. It's that whole debate, in it?
It's
And it's
that.
like Roman Polanski, and there's a lot of them, isn't there?
But
But
then are we have a choice to make a difference? Are we being ignorant by not going, actually,
you
that
know what it is? At the end of the day, for me, right?
actually
For me, if you
my morals kicking in higher than me needing to listen, than me needing to say I love Morrissey. I don't know. It's
what I
complicated and
Well,
it's
Mhm.
there's no
we're
right
getting
or
into like
wrong.
theology here. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's principles and the human condition and all that. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, okay, if you don't want to listen to Pantera because the singer is proved himself a few times to be a complete idiot, then there's one thing you not listening to them, but admonishing other people for doing so, as if the process.
Conversation. There's
uh, uh,
definitely a go on,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, no, but anyway,
I
let's
just
not
I
go
just
on.
think if it was that simple, I think if it was as simple as just like uh either listen to them or don't. I find it fascinating. I find it really
Mhm.
interesting because I like I love
Pantera.
people that I love Pantera. I actually do. I flipping love Pantera. We went to see Pantera when we were like 15, 16 with Dimebag. It was
With Downset supporting.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
came
it was
away.
Downset from
amazing.
Yeah,
LA?
came away saying Pantera are good, but Downset anger. I still
They're
need to
from
go
they're from
see.
LA.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
That was the poor man's Rage Against the Machine.
yeah. No, but they've gone on to have such an their albums. Check
Yeah.
Your People. Right, there's a tune called Pure Trauma by Downset.
Uh-huh.
Get it? Oh my God! Right,
Yeah, I've
there's a
seen them here.
recommendation. Anybody that likes music, will like heavy music, man. Pure Trauma by Downset. Oh God. Even now, my blood pressure's just gone up. My heart rate has gone up. I'm thinking about it. Honestly.
I'm gonna have to go.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh
right.
Is there
Okay.
no.
So
anything else, or anything you need me to say before
Well,
I
is there
go?
for you, is there anything that you have to say to your fans or the followers of the show? Anything that we need to know?
sorry.
For you, Layla?
Um, uh, sorry, Barney's really put me off.
Sorry.
Can you repeat that?
Is there anything that you have to say for your fans out there or the viewers of this channel?
Yeah, thank you for sticking with Sonic Boom 6. We kind of disappeared for a while, and especially around COVID, which I know a lot of people did, but I think
Mhm.
for us, there was kind of an unsaid thing between us that, you know, once the world was back and up and running, whether we were going to continue, whether there was any point. And I'm really glad that we did. We've recorded a brand new album this year. We're playing gigs. Last year we were in the East Coast of America, the West Coast of America. We played in Poland. We played in Geneva. And to be able to do that and for people to stick with us, it really means a lot. And it I just feel very lucky. We've got lots and lots of friends that were in bands and were musicians, and they've sort of parked it, and now they're doing life, and they all really miss it. So I just think we've been able to carry on without splitting up. Because I do think if we'd have split up, I can't imagine that we'd have got back together again. Because life just has a relentless pace sometimes. And I think being able to be in Sonic Boom 6 and be this tight knit unit, I think the band enables that. And without the band, I'm not sure that would exist. So yeah, thanks for sticking with us. New album is recorded
All right.
and should be out soon. We're just in the process of mixing and mastering, but the hard work is done.
Will you be playing some of those songs on Supernova?
We're not playing
Uh,
something.
Wait,
Get him to book us,
no.
Tim.
In
So we've been
2017 you
asking
played.
him.
He's
oh,
played
Played
before.
2017 Supernova.
oh,
Yeah, but we
yeah.
have been trying to get on Supernova. So yeah, Supernova, if you're listening.
He's got stuck up. He used to like us, and then he's got these new big bands, and he's had Pie Tasters on and all this.
I
And now
think, well,
I still reply to my emails. I've been
I,
texting
I, I
him every
do,
day.
I do think it's become much more difficult for English bands to come and play in your country.
Oh.
And it's become very, very, very expensive. So I think for promoters, it it's triple the amount of money that it used to be to fly us over to get visas. So I'm gonna take that angle, and I'm gonna let him off the hook. But if they are listening, get us on Supernova
Tim,
2026.
Oh, I'm
Tim, you're
sorry.
on my hook. Layla's let you off her hook, but you're on my hook.
There
So
you go. You're half hooked.
let my
Halfway.
people speak to your people. We'll get this sorted. We'll figure it out. Come in, we'll rock it, and then we'll go off again. Oh my God, you remember last time, Layla? When
So yeah, I'm gonna go, but
all right,
you
go.
can tell them the story what happened
And
last time at
and
Supernova.
And Layla, say hello to Nick for us. Let him know he could come on the show anytime. He doesn't have to be shy.
I will. I will. He's yeah, yeah, no, he's not shy. He just yeah, he's not a big talker.
Got it.
Yeah,
Understandable.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Oh no, thank you. And enjoy the rest of the interview.
We will. You take
We're
care.
go oh, we're
Bye.
gonna go
Bye.
places here.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
See you in a bit.
All right,
Right.
you're up, Jose.
All right. Well, I got a little like food question here now. Now you've been
Food.
here. Yeah, food question. Yes. You've been here in the
Now we're
States, right?
talking.
Have you tried the country biscuits and gravy?
Bitch tits and gravy.
The biscuits and gravy.
Biscuits and gravy.
I'm sorry, I said it right.
I've never tried any bitch tits.
No, no.
Yeah, no, you know what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
try those.
KFC over there. Yeah, no, I did. I had some because when we have biscuits, they're what you call cookies. So
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
we have
yeah.
some McVitie's. Honestly, they're a world class cookie maker, business biscuit maker. But
Uh,
McVitie's make hobnobs, they make boasters, they make all kinds of things. But yes, I did try the biscuits and gravy, and they were like scones
Yeah.
in salty creamy sauce. Yeah, they were right nice. They were right nice. The the food in America tends to be in bigger portions than we get here.
yes.
So a lot of the time we'd order something and then we'd have to get it like in a to-go bag. But no, the food's fantastic. You've definitely got the right idea as far as food.
Right.
You've nailed that. You know.
Okay. Now, have you tried carnitas tacos?
I've tried lots of different tacos. What have they got on them?
That's pork.
It's shredded
Carnitas,
pork. Yeah.
shredded pork.
Possibly. Oh yeah. I have, yeah. Because we when we toured like one time what we toured we went to like El Paso and we went Texas. So we went down around there like near Mexico, just north of it. And definitely we overindulged on the Mexican food.
Yeah.
Like by 6 days in, we were just like, just let's just eat a bit of bread and a sandwich at the venue. So yeah, we did. You do tend to do that because it is a bit of a novelty. Do you know what I mean? To be around that amount and quality of food. We do food not particularly well in the UK. Do you know what I mean? When you've been traveled, you see it. I mean, you can get nice food in the UK. It's just that we drink freeze-dried coffee. Like that's what. No, I mean, I don't. I mean, I will have it. I mean, if I went camping, I'd have some freeze-dried coffee. But like, that's what I'd say. Like, I don't know, like 80% of coffee drinking in the UK is like freeze-dried stuff. Do you know what I mean? You go to a service station in the US and there's a nice hot pot waiting. Oh
Yeah.
you done. That's it. We don't know this because we're an island, so we don't know what we don't know. And most people, I'll be honest, in the UK are pretty thick. And most human beings are kind of thick, aren't they? So they just sort of like they know what they know. And then anything outside that sort of realm of experience is a challenge to them. But we're particularly bad for it because we're into it. So what I would say is you can get good food in the UK, but you can also be served the worst piece of shit that you would never get served. You'd never go to the US and get served some of the stuff that you would get like a Southampton takeaway pizza. But yeah, yes, I have had chickens and yes, I have had biscuits and gravy and enjoyed it.
So what do you call the fluffy biscuits then? Because you
Scones. I call them
Scones.
scones.
Yeah, they call scones.
But then we have like currants in them, and you put clotted cream, which is like this real indulgent posh thing, clotted cream, and then jam, like strawberry jam. They are nice. To be fair, that's a nice British thing. Yeah, that's kind of like nice, kind of like country side thing. Yeah.
You guys have like beans with your breakfast.
Beans and toast, they have, right?
Beans and toast.
I had a. You better believe it. I had a full ingy this morning. A full ingy.
That's what they call full
English. We do. We call it an ingy. Let's go for a flingy. We just call it a flingy.
Okay. I gotta say that to somebody now.
Not like bro. That is actually our own vernacular. And you know who did it? Amy Bennett. Amy Bennett is James, our bass player and producer guy. That's his girlfriend. And she's like, "Can we go for a flingy?" And that's it. And it just became a thing in a flingy. So I had one this morning. So that involved I'm sensitive. I used to be vegetarian, so I'm sensitive when I talk about eating meat. Sometimes it's like, but you know, it is what it is, right? So this morning I had a large fullingy because we didn't couldn't get any food last night after the gig and jumping around and that. So this morning, 2 eggs, 2 sausages, 2 bacon, 3 hash browns, 2 rounds of toast, and a pot of beans. Yeah, baked
Oh,
beans.
wow.
So they're in tomato sauce, so you can put some salt on them and you kind of spread them about on the whole thing, and it just give everything a bit of moisture. I mean, baked beans is beans on toast is good. It's a staple. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's
Okay, all right.
definitely
I might
yeah.
have to try that.
Toast some bread. Yeah, you need Heinz baked beans. It's like yeah,
Oh,
you know Heinz. You have Heinz,
yeah,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
Heinz baked beans are just that is like that's top 10 food brands in the UK. Heinz baked
Oh,
beans.
yeah.
Yeah,
I have a homemade beans.
nice, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. It's like Cadbury's chocolate. It's better than your chocolate.
I think the only time we actually really have baked beans are like for Independence Day
Independence Day, I guess.
or
Yeah,
yeah, it's like park
Yeah.
food. Yeah,
yeah. Park food. Yeah,
Well, yeah, it does. Yeah,
barbecues. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good to keep
Barbecues. Yeah.
good to keep your system regulated.
I'll go again. Okay, yeah, sure. So, Sonic Boom has many great songs. Can you tell us a little background of a few songs I love? I love
Yeah.
Piggy in the Middle,
All right.
Northern Sky, and Sound of Revolution.
Right. All right. So Piggy in the Middle. Um, I wrote that lyrically. It's about a mate of mine. He went to Canada. I don't see he was my mate. I knew him. He was at school. He was in a year below me, maybe 2 years. No, maybe he was a year below me. Right. And he went to Canada, and then he come back, and he got a job in the police.
Uh,
And I was at the pub. So I was probably only like 20. Do you know what I mean at the time? Uh, And he come up and he's like going on about being in the police. And he's like, oh yeah, when the hippies, they come up, I just fucking knock him over. And he's just bragging about what he does to kids and how he abuses his
ooh,
position of authority. And I remember like him at school, he was he was kind of charismatic little dude, but he was like a lot of the time, like I still think this, and it's goofy because it's like I'm not old, but it's like in adulthood, all the time you see these people that were like not like me and Layla at school. We, we were characters. People knew who we were, even though we were like only because we did mad shit. Do you know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying we were cool and but it was like at school there was all these people that were in the background and they didn't do nothing, kind of non-playable character type guys. And then
NPCs.
he and then a lot of them become tattooists and get the no, tattooists tend to be the most like what's that word which misanthropes like they're misanthropes most tattooists that I deal with tend to have been like the kind of person that hated the world at school and now they're kind of getting a revenge somehow. I don't know, that's my theory, right? But this guy did it by joining the police, right? So he come up to me and then I was just like, I'm gonna write a song about this fucking guy because he stood there, he's just talking to me and he's just telling me all this shit that he's doing and knocking
Yeah.
people and we do this, do that. And then the actual tune, Ben was with that intro, but it goes. I was telling him there's a band called Sup, and we play with them in Nottingham, and I don't know, they were from where were they from, Peterborough, and they had a tune where at the beginning it kind of had an offbeat on the saxophone, so Ben had that, and the bass line, which is kind of the main hook of the tune, it's like yeah, that's off New York State and That Mind by Nas, which is sampled off an old jazz, not jazz fusion, but no, it's actual jazz, but it's piano jazz record. It might be like Herbie Hancock or something. And it's just got this one line in it, but the piano, it's like literally doing like a solo, and he just then goes doom ba doom, and then that's it. That's sampled, that's on there. And I just always like that because it's that sort of like dark heavy metal note. It's like the octave, but it's one up. So
Yeah.
just it's very discordant, and like a lot of heavy metal riffs or that. So it's so I'd written that, and then we bunged it all together, and originally when we played it a few times live, we had a different chorus, but that bit. Just think about it. I got that. That was robbed off like an Eminem tune. Like I never went to bed you mushrooms, girl. I
Oh,
never did. And I
yeah.
seen him. There's an MTV, and I've looked for it on YouTube, and it's not there. There's an MTV live performance of Eminem doing that, and it's got a proof, and it's like from that Slim Shady LP. And I loved it, Eminem, even before even was with Dr. Dre, because I was dying to hip hop. I knew like just don't give a fuck like that. I knew who he was from like Raucous Records and stuff. And there was that, and we robbed that bit, yeah. So just robbed loads of shit and then put it together as a ska punk tune. And what was the other tune we were saying?
Northern Sky.
Normal Skies. Ben wrote that, so our old
Okay.
guitarist wrote that, and it was completely different. It was him moaning about being taking too many drugs and being lonely in Manchester, and he had this tape, and he gave us this tape, and it had all these mad demos on it. We did another tune called Cuckold on the first demo EP, and that was on there, and it was like right slow, and he was like under northern skies, and then I just like I could hear the melody, and then me and him I kind of changed the beat on it and put that bass line on it, which is quite
Okay.
distinctive. And then we knew it was good. I heard it, he'd
Mm.
written it, and I'm like, that's a good song. Do you know what I mean? It said something. It's like you don't know what it says. I tried to then kind of tie it into like kind of race relations in the north of the UK, because there was a lot of rioting going on at the time. So I kind of turned it into that.
Okay.
I always knew, and I wrote the like the melodica and that, and we recorded it. It was like our first time, and that was the first Sonic Boom 6 tune. Yeah. Um, so that was that. And Sound of Revolution, we literally, it's funny because you saying before about how you come at a tune, that we were just like, right, we need another Bigger Than Punk Rock. Because Bigger Than Punk Rock, it's a right scrappy tune on our first album, but we played it last night. Like that's one where it was like, I think because it's got that bit at the beginning when it's like, I remember at a party, that helps. It's got that right distinctive intro, which
Mm.
again is like, there's loads of things when you're in a band where you go, okay, I know that's gonna connect, I know that's gonna be good, and then there's other things you think are gonna connect and don't. Like I knew that intro was gonna connect with people, but um, Big and Punk Rock, that became like that's the tune we should have done the video for, kind of thing. But it was just to us, it was just another. That was just another tune. But then we wanted to do it again with Sound of Revolution, and that intro. There's a tune on the first Arctic Monkeys album, and he goes, uh, last night, these two bouncers, one of them's all right, another's a scary. And he starts by talking. And I was we were at a club, I think we were in Nottingham Rock City, and it came on, and everyone just went like that. He says, last night, these two bouncers, one of them's all right, the others are scary. And so I was like, we should do a tune where at the start, it's just Layla or me or whatever. It's just, you know what I mean? Just saying
Mm.
something and kicking in. And the, yeah, so it started with that, and then we were just like, oh, let's do it. I don't know. It was just it was that bass line, and I can't. I remember where we were when we wrote it. We were in this mad, it's a condemned building in Salford, when we were doing the rehearsals for Arcade Perfect. Um, but yeah, I think by that point we kind of had it in our head. But the lyrics is literally just about like that's about us at school. Do you know what I mean? Where you're not you're like you're waiting. I was waiting for Nirvana. I was waiting for Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was waiting for like Censor and the UK bands. I was waiting for Rage Against the Machine. I was waiting for Snoop Doggy Dogg. I was waiting for Dr. Dre. I was waiting for Wu-Tang Clan. It was like
Mm.
it before and after that. Then it was like suddenly like this has invigorated me in a way that I liked when I was a little kid. I loved Batman. for years, and then I was into video games. But it wasn't until that where I was like, oh my God, I'm going in full, pushing the chips across the table and being like, you know, this is me. And that's what the song about. So when it says just a nerd till I saw them on the word screaming, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. That's literally seeing Rage Against the Machine in 1992 playing Killing in the Name of on a program called The Word, which was on Channel 4. And that's so many great bands on that. Faith No More, Sepultura, L7, and then so much great hip hop, Onyx, Cypress Hill. There was just so of that hodgepodge of different music. They all played on The Word. I remember on the same episode, I was 15 maybe. We were doing acid. I was at my mate Darren's house, and it had reel to reel featuring the Mad Stuntman doing "I Like to Move It, Move It," and it had Sepultura doing "Refuse, Resist" on the same episode, and I'm on acid, and I'm 15, and it's just like there's like I don't think there's anything like that now. Do you know what I mean? And it was just that was and that's what that song's about. Yeah, Sir and the Word. Yeah,
Cool.
like that, yeah.
Has anybody told you before that it kind of sounds like a Nightmare Before Christmas song?
Yeah. But it does. But then loads of sort of ska punk sounds like that, done it? Where it's kind of like, yeah, there's them creepy notes, like the flat sixth. Yeah.
And then her voice sounds like one of the kids' voices, the female kid.
All right,
Laila's,
okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should cover that then. Yeah, that's a great one. I mean, I loved. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure Ben probably wrote that, but I'm sure like Danny Elfman, like the Batman soundtrack, the original Batman soundtrack, and stuff like that. Before I knew, because it's funny, before you pick up an instrument or before you really start to break it down, it's just like I remember, being a kid and listening to Nirvana and Pearl Jam or Rage Against the Machine or whatever. And there's a lot of bands where when you don't know about an instrument, you just sort of hear it in this way that's almost a lot more pure than when you know how, how the sausage is made, kind of thing. And I remember, listening to the Batman soundtrack and all those sort of string lines and that, and you just you're not thinking of it in terms of instruments. You're literally just thinking in terms of the ideas and sounds. So I'm sure I would listen to that, like the Prince Batman soundtrack, but also the Danny Elfman one, because that's how obsessively I was into Batman, like 1989. Get it, you kid? I went to the cinema to watch Batman, right? In 1989, Batman shorts, Batman socks, and a Joker t-shirt and a Batman hat. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah. Nice, bro.
Yet you have Superman in the background there.
I do.
He does.
Do. But then that next to him, that's the Joker. So that's got Batman next to him. Yeah. I do. There is Batman somewhere over it. Yeah, there. You'd be able to see Batman if I go like that. You can see there's a Batman
I
there.
see him. I see him. All right.
There he is. Right. So it's all right. It's all kind of like equal opportunities here. There's even a Wonder Woman. There's even a Wonder Woman in case anyone's concerned.
Yeah, the Linda Carter or Gal Gadot.
Well, it looks like Linda Carter. It looks more Linda Carter. But Gal Gadot did a good job, didn't she? I thought she was good at Wonder Woman 84 was a bit more. It was a bit more sort of glib, wasn't it? I kind of enjoyed it, but yeah.
Over there, do you guys have like concerts which have like different types of bands? And I'm not talking about like Glastonbury or anything like that, but concerts that have different genres on the same bill, like 3 or 4 bands. Because here, I was thinking about that because here you mentioned, some of the bands that go out there. I saw House of Pain out here open for the Ramones.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is so wild.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, we do, but yeah, you're right in it. It's probably more of a festival thing to have a big mix. I mean, like I was at Outbreak Festival, which is a big hardcore festival. It's in Manchester at the moment, and they have like the hardcore scene has now included certain styles of rap, which Action Bronson, Denzel Curry, Danny Brown, and then shoegaze bands as well. So they've got like Slow Dive and it's very funny, like the very particular mix of underground subgenres that's kind of, and that's really cool. Um, and yeah, I mean, festivals in the UK has always been very good as far as mixing up styles. You know, it's like first festivals I went to, we got Reading in the mid 90s, and literally the Prodigy, then Rage Against the Machine,
Mm-hmm.
and 50 Cent would be on the bill with Slipknot. Do you know what I mean? It was always
Yeah.
very mixed.
Now, what are your favorite current ska type of bands anywhere in the world?
Look, I love Cat Bite. They're really good.
Template.
I'm going to see them on Thursday. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He just messaged me before actually. I was just yeah. So I'm going to go see them on Thursday. I think they're brilliant. This is really good. Like, it's not. It's very very doing something very well that is they make it unique to them, but they're not trying to be gimmicky with it. It's just decent, good live ska music, and the riffs are good, and their songwriting is just keeps getting better and better and better. That's what I was saying about before about gimmicks, and that's called gimmicks, but in rap they call it concepts. But I feel like Cat Bite's gimmicks are getting better. I was listening to the newest tune the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're really putting together how you can get something where it grabs the attention as well as being a good song. But there's a band in the band we played with on Friday. So if anyone wants to check out sort of a more like underground, up and coming UK band, there's a band called Brigantes, and they're kind of they've got the sort of dubby reggae punky vibes, but then they do some ska stuff, and very much sort of kind of like you can hear that they're influenced by like the Skints and maybe Sonic Boom Six, Cat Down, those kind of bands, but they're kind of a good new blood in that kind of style, and they've got like. They've got a chemistry and they've got an energy and they've got a charisma and that but there's a band called Dakar Skanks. I think they're from Brighton. I think they're from Brighton. They're absolutely brilliant. First time I seen them uh, it was in London. And what I love about them, and hopefully, I mean, I certainly, I've said this about King Prawn in the past, where it doesn't sound like they've listened to other sort of ska punk, ska rock bands and been influenced by them. Sounds like they've got a sensibility where they like reggae and they like rock music, and they've kind of put them together. She's got an incredible voice, an incredible presence and charisma and just confidence, but they they remind me of what was Jesse from Operation Ivy's band, Common Rider, right? They remind
Oh
me of
yeah.
that. Whereas Common Rider, I feel when I listen to Common Rider, I feel like avoiding playing ska punk in a good way. It's kind of, but it's kind of almost a contrivance. It's almost like we're not just going to go back and play ska punk. This is all going to be different. But Dakar Skanks reminds me of that in the sense that the way that they use riffs feels very rock. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like it's not. It don't sound like they've sat there and listened to Less Than Jake and Operation Ivy. They sound like they've listened to some reggae music and some rock music, and then they come up. I mean, I think those guys are brilliant. I'd love to see them again. I've not seen them in ages. So Dakar Skanks, Brigantes, and Catbite are
Yeah.
my recommendations. Yeah.
We're
Nice.
gonna see Daka Skanks at Supernova here in September, and
Oh, they playing?
um
See, there we go. So
yeah,
that's like, there we go. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's amazing that they're playing it.
yeah,
That's amazing that they're playing that. And yeah, because they are that good. So I can see how if someone's heard it, and I see it on social media. She just little dancing videos and that, and yeah, it looks and that's good because that's social media savvy. But that I
mhm,
know they were playing with that band. Is it Los Fastidios? Is like an
mhm,
Italian ska punk
Yeah.
band with a
yeah,
girl singing. I think they played a lot of gigs with them, and I think they're
yeah,
going down in Germany well because Germany is very. That's it. They're quite didactic about the music, so it's like I am into sort of ska, so I can see how they really appeal to that. If you're into a subculture in Germany, they take it a lot more seriously. Do you know what I mean? It's like we are into ska punk. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. So
yeah.
it's kind of like those guys will go over there, and then straight away it's like, yeah, I mean, they are brilliant. I can see
Yeah.
why they're doing well in on mainland Europe, the way that they interact with music. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh well, that's good. That's nice that they're playing
We
Supernova.
we actually have Daka Skanks on this interview with Clara and Henry, August 17th.
Okay, well,
And
I'll check that out.
yeah, and then we also have Los Fastidios next month also
There we go.
on this.
So
So we're trying to get all the Supernova bands because we're going to be there representing and everything as well.
oh,
That's
nice. Yeah.
that's probably why I got confused with this.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, we did play it, but it was a pretty early one. It was like I think it was like the
2017.
third or something. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
2017. Yeah. Cooley Wanks was there. Cooley
Oh
did
yeah,
all
from the
in with
Pilfers.
us.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
So he did all in with us live. Yeah.
Yeah.
So so I want to know, what does the UK think about our current president? Is that
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I can't speak for the UK. I think he's an idiot, but like I think that um he's clearly the way I always look at music is just like if there's a band and they connect with their audience, you kind of have to go, why do they connect with their audience? He's obviously connected with his audience because people are
Mhm.
willing to look past. And I'm not saying this to give him any kind of excuse, but it's like he seems to believe his own nonsense, and I don't know that he's like a particularly malevolent person, but I think he definitely has signs of narcissism that level of confidence
Mhm.
appeals to people that are having a hard time. And I think that history bears that out as far as people being attracted and drawn to these kind of characters that promise that they have the solution. And this is the thing with the left and the right. And I'm very much, my politics are very much on the left as far as I see, try and be dispassionate about it and go, okay, but this is how we can progress as the West or the world.
Mhm.
But I think that uh, his lack of standing on ceremony within a system and a lot of people feel very distanced from, it appeals to people. So he's managed to his bluster and bullshit
Mhm.
attracts a lot of people that feel very disconnected and disillusioned and jaded with the political solutions that have come before them.
For you, Barney, since we know ska does not pay the bills, do you care to share what your primary occupation is?
Oh, philanthropist, chef, and bon vivant. No. I do digital marketing for bands for music. So at the moment, I put together like, so if a band are putting an album out or whatever, you might have like a 3 month period before it comes out. So maybe they want to do some YouTube ads, maybe they want to do TikTok ads, maybe they want to do Facebook ads, maybe they want to do Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I like conceptualize the ad campaign. If we've got like a budget, I'll split it between the different platforms. And I also do like bits and bobs of kind of creative like video and social media content, but mainly the ads makes you can charge more for doing the ads. So that's what I do, yeah.
Nice.
Cool, cool. Now I got one last question.
Yeah.
Imagine that the Ska History Hour viewers never heard of Sonic Boom 6 before. Which song should they queue up and why?
Um it should be Piggy in the Middle, Northern Skies, and Sound of Revolution, because that's what you mentioned before.
Yes.
And
All right.
they're as good as three as any.
Okay. Cool.
Now, where can we find your music, both physical and digital?
So go on sonicboom6.co.uk, and then digital, it's everywhere. It's Spotify, it's Apple Music, etc., etc. So yeah, come and visit us at sonicboom6.co.uk, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so Barney, what does the future hold for Sonic Boom 6? We know there's some material coming out, but tell us about the new album that's going to come out, when it's going to come out, touring, things like that, please.
Well, we've recorded a new album, as Laila said before. It's not we're just finishing the mixing at the moment. We recorded it ourselves. So Institutionalized is actually the first tune that we've actually, it's not. We did a little EP in 2017 to raise some funds, but this is the first institutionalized. We recorded it and produced it ourselves. James did the engineering and a lot of the production style, and then we got a guy called Elliot Vaughan to mix it. And to us, it's our yeah, we loved it, how institutionalized came out, and we I mean, we've worked with a lot of producers, and a lot of the time they do bring a lot, but just sort of like, I think we were ready to just do it ourselves, and financially it makes more sense. And we've got a really good studio space in Blackpool that we use, so we've recorded it ourselves, and it's all done. It just needs mixing, and we're talking to a couple of labels at the moment. We'll probably end up releasing it ourselves, but we kind of wanted to get a label involved because it just makes a bit more of an event of it. But then in the long run, you're giving away at least 50% of the record financially, and it's hard. It's hard, and as Laila was saying, it's more difficult than it's ever been because it's not like we live in the same town or anything. So it's difficult, but the new album is very much, whereas on the first few records, every record's kind of different. And then our fourth album, we went more poppy and more ska. Whereas this one, we've kind of gone back to the first album, or we've kind of looked at it and gone, what do we do well? And I suppose at one point we were kind of, I mean, this is our sixth album, and then we've got loads of EPs and we've got mini albums. So this is like, I suppose at one point we were kind of aware that we were like kind of getting bigger or whatever, and it was kind of an attempt to kind of get on the tail of that. Whereas now it's just like, okay, we're just going to do what Sonic Boom 6 is, and we're not going to, it's not about getting bigger, it's about putting something out that fans are going to like and what we're going to like and enjoy playing live. So we've already played a lot of the songs live. It's kind of a mix. I'd say it's almost a mix of our first and our fourth album. Our fourth album's the most big and rocky and got the most dance music production. The first album's the most crazy and punk and got more eclecticism. It's got a lot of energy, the first album. It's got a lot of ideas, and we've tried to kind of mash them both together. So it's kind of got the first album's energy, but the fourth album's kind of production, which is a bit more polished and a bit bigger. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. We've got Ben on a few tunes. Ben was our original guitarist and saxophone player, and he moved to Florida. He's in a band called The Algorithms now, actually, who are really good. They've just released a new tune. So we've got Ben on a few tunes, and that was really nice. That brings it back full circle, back to the beginning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it out. Hopefully we'll get it out this year. But yeah, there's not that mad impetus there was like when you're 20s, you're just like this is everything. But now it's just you can enjoy a good sunset every now and then and not be worried about what the band's doing.
Now, any last words for your fans out there? Same question that we asked Laila, but if for your fans or our viewers out there.
Buy the new album on a physical format, preferably two, so it's on CD and vinyl. Buy both, and then we make the maximum amount of money because we've put so much of ourselves into this that you owe us now.
All right.
That's awesome. Now, hang on real quick. We're going to ask you a question. But we're going to go ahead and sum this up. We want to thank you for your time. Laila also for her time.
Thank you.
Shared with us. We can't wait to see what you guys have coming up. Give us just a moment.
Right, take care. Hello, Skankers. Jose here, aka Skanking Force. Would you like to win a free Ska Box? It's as easy as following Ska Box Rocks and Sniff Dog Records on Instagram and Facebook. And subscribe to Ska History Hour on YouTube and comment Ska Box Rocks in any video to enter. Good luck!